Hello everyone, welcome to Southern Wreaths. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how I use the Dollar Tree Easter egg wreath form. I didn't know exactly what I was going to add to this wreath yet, so I just have my burlap pulled out. This is a natural burlap. I ordered it, I can't remember exactly where, but I'll link it below where I got it from. But it came in a huge roll, so I've had a lot of it. It does make a big mess, so you might want to do this outside if you use this particular burlap. It doesn't have sewn edges, so it's like really messy looking, and it does have a lot of strings, but you can just cut all those off when you're done. It measures 4 to 4.5 inches. I can't remember exactly. I think it's 4, but I'm just going underneath the egg and I'm attaching it with a zip tie. I couldn't find my wire cutters right offhand, so I'm using my dog toenail clippers, but I do find them before I'm done with this wreath. I am going to show you later what you can do to make this wreath if you don't have this natural burlap. If you only have the sewn kind, you can make it look like this. I am going around the middle, so there's 4 bars. I'm going around the second from the inside bar. I'm putting a piece of burlap on either side. I'm keeping it even and pulling it and pushing it tight to the left. You don't want it to be so tight that it starts like pulling the strings up. You'll see. I like it to be a little bit loose so I can move it around and get it as fluffy as I want. And it's really this simple. You just grab it and pull. Now when we do the next layer on the outside, it's a whole lot harder. So if you just wanted to do this one layer, you could use larger burlap and you wouldn't need to do the outside layer again. So I'm just finishing up this section. I do want it full, but I don't want it too full. I like the looseness of it. So when I go to do the next section, I just go over the crossbar and just continue doing what I've been doing. The main thing with this is just keep it even as you're pulling it through. And then once you get started, it's kind of simple. And like I was saying before, you could use a larger burlap and you would do exactly the same thing. You could technically go over the 2 center ones if you wanted to. I didn't do it with this smaller burlap because you could see it. But I'm going to go around and do the entire inside like this. I just love the way it looks. And when working with natural burlap, you may want to wear a mask because I've heard that the fibers can be dangerous if you inhale them. And this one makes a big mess. So now I'm just finishing up the inside part of the egg. You can see there's tons of string. If that bothers you, you can cut it as you go. I just wait till the end. Now here I'm showing you, you go around the next ring, the next bar. This is a lot harder than the other part because you have to pull without pulling out the first part you put in. But again, once you get a kind of rhythm going, it's not as difficult. You just have to be a little slower and a lot more careful. But it can be done. And it looks a lot better and a lot more full than, a lot fuller than with just the one ring around, which I wouldn't have been able to leave it like that anyway because the bar is showing. But as you can see, I'm trying to pull it through where I want it to be, if that makes sense. If I want it to be in the middle of this section, then that's where I pull it through at. I'm not trying to push it over like I was before, just because it will move all of the previous burlap. Okay, so at this point I had ran out of this burlap. So I'm going to show you how I finish off the piece when I'm done. If you have enough of this, then this would just be your last piece. But I just pull it all the way through and then I'll turn it over and use a zip tie to attach it to the frame. I do like to feed the zip tie through the burlap holes and then attach it that way. That way it's super secure. And I go in a little ways. I don't do like the outside ones. I go in probably about 1/2 inch to 1 inch. And then just pull it tight and trim it away. And then I'll just push the zip tie out of the way. Okay, so now I'm going to show you what to do if you run out of this particular burlap, or if you didn't have this and you wanted this look. So this is just some I had left over. This is the kind you get at Walmart or Hobby Lobby. And I'm just going to cut it and measure it. The burlap over here, like I said, I believe it's 4 inches. So you can either use scissors, which work great, but they were a little rough on my scissors and I didn't want to dull my new scissors. So I'm going to show you how I actually ended up doing it. So I'm going to use my rotary cutter, and it worked really well and it made it so much easier. So I'm just following one of the lines. You can see there's like grids inside the burlap. You just follow one of the lines. I tried to keep it as straight as possible, and I'll do that for both sides, measuring it to keep it at about 4 inches. And then that was enough for me to finish it. And again, I'm going to attach it to the frame with a zip tie. It does look slightly different from the other one, but you have to look really hard to see the difference once it's finished. I just like the rough look of this particular burlap. Even when you make poofs with this one, or like the pull through with the bubbles, it looks really pretty with the raw edge. But it's messy and there are so many strings. So I'm just going to continue doing this until I'm finished with it. If anyone's interested in following me on social media, you can find me on Instagram at Southern Wreaths More, on Facebook at Southern Wreaths, and I also have a Facebook group called Southern Wreaths and More. I also have all of these links in the description below. Okay, so once I reach the end, I'm going to do like I did before, where I just feed the zip tie through the burlap and attach it to the frame. And then I'll just trim it away. I really like how this turned out. I didn't want to use mesh right away with this egg form because I wanted to actually show off what shape it was. And burlap's like, personally, I thought burlap was the best way to do that. So now the fun part of cleaning up all of this. And I basically just grab it and just start chopping. And it just keep going all the way around. It's kind of satisfying. It's kind of like cleaning it up. And you can go back if you miss little ones here and there. Some of them pull out, but be careful when you're pulling the strings, because I did accidentally pull some of the actual burlap out and I had to go back and fix it. That was not fun. But you just keep on trimming. And it's pretty amazing how much string there actually is hanging out. Looks so much better now. So that's what it looks like when it's done. So the reason I didn't have all the materials before is because I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it. So I played around with some different things. I thought this sign was the perfect size. And then I had these left over from when Joanns had a huge sale. It was like 90% off these flowers. They were like, oh gosh, I believe like 19 cents each or something. So I'm just going to put them all together. They're really delicate and fragile. They're they're felt. Like the stems and stuff are felt. But since it's a burlap wreath, you won't really have this hanging outside unless you have a covered porch. In that case, it should be fine. But I thought those went well with that. And I'm just going to take a piece of wire and wrap it around the little bundle together. I tried to keep them the way I was holding it, but it kind of squeezed together. So I'll just go back through and fluff it out when I'm ready. Okay, once I twisted it around, I'm just going to twist it tight so I can make sure it's not going to come undone when I attach it to the actual wreath. And then I'm going to pull it around, and then you'll see I stick it through the back, the actual bars, and then I'll just twist it around back there. And you could also use a pipe cleaner for this because it all gets covered up with the sign. When I do trim it away, I leave enough on there where I can kind of tuck it into the wreath so you don't have anything sharp sticking out. And then I like to pull the stems up. You could just trim those away if you wanted to. And then to add the sign, I'm going to use E6000 and hot glue. I had already added the E6000. Now I'm just going to put some hot glue on there. And I am going to use a pipe cleaner. You could do 2 separate spots if you wanted to, but I'm just going to do one. If I could get my hot glue gun to work. I bought a new hot glue gun, but it takes the big glue sticks, so I need to run out of my little ones. I like to take a piece of cardboard and put it over the back. I just feel like it holds better. And then once that dries completely, I'll wrap it up. And I do let it dry for a long time before I mess with it again. And then I'll just wrap that around the wreath where I want it to go. And I'm going to do the same thing with the pipe cleaners that I did with the wire. It's just tuck it under the frame, twist it around, and then tuck it up. And that's it. That's how I've made my Easter egg shaped wreath. Just going to go through and fluff everything and make sure I'm happy with the way it looks. If y'all have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, or you can email me at craftingwithlee@yahoo.com. Thanks so much for watching, and if y'all learned anything today or if you like my video, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.